you know, all of the municipality, the comp plans, the updated regulations, I think these are all good things to keep coming through the whole board. There's not that many things that I think the board shouldn't be taking a full look at that we are right now. Does anybody else have any comments on that?
I'm happy with the list as it stands today. I think it's a good policy. Makes a lot of sense.
So
do we have policy number 2? What was policy number 2?
Do we have a policy number 2?
I don't think so.
I always thought every year he presented 2 different things we approved every year, but I can't remember what the other one was, to tell you the truth. But we vote them on the next meeting, right? We don't vote them on today's meeting. So everybody has a thing. Or was it this meeting we're supposed to vote on?
Right.
We voted January meeting, but I thought I would have it brought up.
The other thing that we do have, and maybe that's what maybe
we
that's
do
what you're
vote
thinking about, Chuck,
for
is the dates, the GML deadline dates. And our
policy
next meeting.
number 2 is the
Yeah, we used to have the dates listed, right? That for a referral.
Yep, I think.
Yeah, we used to get a list of referral dates, which is fine if you don't, but.
Yep, we've got it.
Yeah, as long as oh, there you go. Okay, that's it. I'm not seeing it on here.
I did find a GML referral policy number 2, which is for planned unit development.
Okay.
I'll make sure to have that for next meeting, and I'll try and send it out so we can everyone can review before we vote January.
Okay, there we go. So we'll vote on that in the January meeting, you said then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And with that, we can start our review of the reports that are on the agenda tonight, if there's nothing else.
If anybody has any comments, we do have room for flexibility on our meeting dates, but we kept basically the same schedule for the referral deadlines and for our meetings. Same Wednesdays and Friday deadlines. So just let Alex or I know if anybody wants to make different suggestions on that.
Okay. So I guess with that, I will go into the one review we have this month. We've got conditional permit and aquifer protection special permit for the purpose of retooling an existing dairy manufacturing plant. That'd be the Byrne Dairy in Cortlandville there. They're going to be adding 1,200 square feet of mechanical space, a new truck scale and approach, a small area of an additional paving.
You have reached Haines. We cannot take your call at this.
So it's really not that much externally that's happening in terms of what we'll review. It sounds like internal, they're retooling a lot. They're going to be changing. I watched the town of Cortlandville's planning board, and they're retooling for a whole different product in there. But in terms of what we're seeing, 1,200 feet additional actual building area and a bunch of extra pavement. And I forgot to send you guys the maps, but they're not that comprehensive, so I'll show them to you here. The only I guess issues that we could see, it's not that big of a difference, but the only issue was, I'll show you the not letting me. Here we go. So I guess the history of this place, the BDC IDA had split it up to kind of have an industrial park. Byrne Dairy decided to buy all of the lots, which is great. But when the original development for this plant was done, they, in the review process, I think everyone must have forgotten that the parcels were still kind of separated out. So the only issue comes with, the way the law reads and how much coverage they can have in the aquifer protection area and, in terms of needing a SWIP. If they just combine the majority of these lots or even just a couple of them, they'll avoid needing to do anything strenuous. But you can read that whole thing in my report. And the other thing was they're going to be adding 2 new curb cuts into the Byrne Hollow crossing. So need to go with the town highway superintendent for that. And that this is a very preliminary site plan, so they'll need to have a full site plan before final approval at the town level. So let me show you, and I have to keep making this small before I can show it to you, but here is the map that I was given. And again, I apologize for leaving it off of the packet I gave you guys, but make sure I don't leave anything off next time. But this would be this is the existing building right here. It's Byrne Hollow Crossing, and 13 is, you can see where it is right here. This is the building, 13 is this road. So they're just adding a little more impervious surface here, 1,200 square feet addition. And then over here, they are adding a truck scale and approach, which was originally on the 2013, I believe, submission, but a lot of that complex was never built. So I don't really know the history of why, but yeah. So I'll leave this back up. Let me say my recommendations. Firstly, that the applicant provide the town a final site plan showing existing lot lines and the total impervious surface of the project lots. That if coverage requirements laid out in section 178.-2.2a of the Code of the Town of Cortlandville are met, the applicant, or that if those aren't met, that the applicant combine the lots with enough contiguously owned lots, which should be pretty easy for them. 3, that the existing 2013 stormwater SWIP is modified per that section of the code, unless they combine with enough continuous lots in which they wouldn't need a SWIP anymore. 4, that the final site plan be submitted to the town, including all information required by section 178-71 and showing compliance with section 178-140. Basically, the final site plan submission requirements is what that is. 5, the applicant secure driveway permits for the 2 new entrances for the truck scale and approach, and then compliance with seeker.
Let me get a motion to accept staff's recommendations.
I'll move it, Paul.
Paul, second.
I'll move it. Or second. Amy.
And discussion.
And that they hold, and that they own the whole industrial park, and this is basically, they're adding on a closet. I dare say they probably didn't even have to approach us, and none would be the wiser. But it's good. I believe, Alex, they are proceeding post haste. I think they announced prospective layoff dates to the employees, where then they're going to do their capital investment and installation process. They'll be laying the production people off for a couple week period while they're retooling the plant. But so I believe they're ready to go post haste.
Does anybody know what they're switching over to for their product? I'm just curious.
I did, Dan. I did. I'm sorry, it escapes me now.
Yep.
They're getting out of the yogurt, the ready yogurt, and going into something else.
I believe
Yogurt.
Jim,
Go ahead,
I'm going to say the name wrong. Jim G
Mhm.
is raising his hand. I think he might be from Byrne Dairy.
Okay.
Or maybe related to the project.
Cool.
Jim G, if you're there, can you enlighten us?
Maybe.
He doesn't have his volume on.
Oh, he's got himself muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. So this is Jim Goger with Byrne, and be happy to answer any questions you might have. I did hear the question of what have we been making and what will we be making at the plant. And I think you're probably all aware we have been making yogurt and other cultured dairy products like sour cream and things like that. And what we're going to be doing is retooling the plant so that we'll be making, no longer making yogurt and sour cream. We'll be making extended shelf life milk products, very similar to what we do in our plant in DeWitt. And it's really going to be an extension of those product lines that that we're finding are being very successful. So it's really a matter of moving from one dairy product to the other. It does require some different equipment, primarily the filling equipment, but a lot of the basic infrastructure of a dairy plant is the same from plant to plant. So we're able to retool this and honestly do it fairly quickly with this small addition to the plant.
Jim, is that aseptic packaging that you're getting into there?
Well, so we are doing aseptic packaging now in DeWitt.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we just started that in the last 6 months or so. And for those who don't know, aseptic packaging is, in this case, dairy products that do not need to be refrigerated. And they have a shelf life of about a year. It's kind of a hard concept to wrap your head around, but that's kind of the way they do it around the rest of the world.
Right.
We're fortunate enough to have a lot of refrigeration in the U.S., so we don't really look to the aseptic packaging, but maybe if there's anything good that came out of COVID, this is it. The aseptic shelf-stable packaging has really taken off in the last year or two. So we've taken advantage of that in our DeWitt plant, which is really what in part is driving this project at Byrne Hollow, that we're moving some of the extended shelf life production, which is a different process, down here to Cortlandville. So as we further expand this plant in the coming years, it will certainly have the capability for aseptic, but for the moment, it's going to be strictly ESL.
Okay.
What is this? Is this a powdered product you're making? Like I said, I'm just curious. I just wonder what you're making.
No, it's actually mostly fluid milk. It's if you think about organic milks and half and half, heavy cream, it's those type of products. And when we say yeah, when we say extended shelf life, it just refers to the pasteurization process. And in this case, you know, for example, the products will have probably about a 70 or 75 day shelf life on them.
Oh, okay. When you said long shelf life, I just instantly thought powdered.
So, Jim,
That's the longest possible shelf life.
Okay.
are
Very
you going to
interesting.
be using nitrogen at all? Or no?
I'm sorry, that came off a little garbled. Could you
Are you going to be using nitrogen blankets or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not trying to think of what we would use nitrogen blankets for.
Just the head space in the containers and stuff. I don't know if you need a large gas handling capability there. You know.
No, we don't really.
Okay.
You know, this actual physical addition to the plant is a mechanical room.
Mhm.
It's going to house a bigger boiler. So we do, you know, in terms of just the mechanics to run the plant, we need to upgrade a little bit.
Okay.
But as I said, for the most part, the infrastructure is already there.
Okay. That's all I had.
Very good. Thank you, Jim. Any other questions?
Pleasure.
I have a question, just, Ms. Chuck. Are you guys going to go ahead and, or Jim, I had the question. Are they going to go ahead and do that consolidation of the properties?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And, you know, I think you were right that we just kind of didn't think about it when we plopped the plant down next to the cul-de-sac there. Lord knows we had enough eyes looking at it. It just never dawned on us, I guess. The only caveat that I would give is that we do need to coordinate with the county IDA because there are pilot arrangements on the plant by parcel. So I just want to make sure that we don't do something without looking at what the current pilot agreement says and just kind of erase a line that might have some unintended consequences. But the idea of the consolidation is a great one, and we're going to move forward with that.
Jim, this is Trisha. If you'd like, I could reach out to the BDC IDA and double check on that pilot for you. And I also spoke to Bruce Weber from Cortlandville and just gave him a heads up, and he agreed with our recommendations and said there wasn't a real concern, but it might be easier just working down the line.
Oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense. There's no doubt it makes a lot of sense. And you know, why it wasn't done 8 years ago, I couldn't tell you. Should have been.
Well, I can check in on that pilot and then just email their response to the whole group if and I can include you in on that, Jim, if you want to put your email address in our chat. Or I'm not sure if it's your contact on that JML referral.
What, if you don't mind, Tricia, why don't let me contact the IDA and I'll copy you on the contact?
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
And that way, you know, we talk with Gary and Karen all the time about a lot of these things. So
Great. Sounds good.
Karen usually sets me straight. So.
Yeah, she's pretty good at that.
She's very good at that.
Any other questions? All those in favor of accepting staff's recommendations?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay. It'd be good to have a follow-up on that, Tricia.
Okay, so we had 3 returns this time. It was pretty light month. I think, you know, everyone's ready for the holidays and not doing as many things, so I'm sure it'll pick back up. We've got one in the town of Homer, minor subdivision. There's a larger parcel here not shown. They're just breaking off the barn and a single family house there. Pretty self-explanatory. The applicant here, town of Virgil, another minor subdivision. Let's see, it's essentially a lot line adjustment. They're taking, right now, this is one big parcel, and this red part, they want to give to this parcel right here. So they're going to essentially move the line here. Within the definitions, they couldn't technically call it a lot line adjustment because it didn't meet the definition. It was too much land, but that's essentially what it is. So there was that. And last one, I don't have a map for it because I don't really know what map. I mean, there wasn't a map given because it's simply a home occupation. The way the Village of Homer's code reads, home occupations are considered site plan reviews. So that's why it's site plan review. And it's simply a home taxidermy in a single family dwelling. So pretty local there, not on a major road. So that's all I have.
Did anybody have any questions on any of those?
Alex and I did discuss perhaps adding a little more information on some of the analyses, like the site plan review for Homer, for the home occupation. You know, and that's kind of, you know, again, see what you guys prefer too, if you'd like to see the GML, the submittal itself, or when there's not much information, if it's pretty simple, we're happy to give more. Just don't want to flood.
I had asked Alex about the taxidermy. I did email him. I was just wondering what the zone was. Just, and I'm sure it's allowable, but sometimes it's good just. I don't know what the zoning is there, and I'm sure it's allowable. But as I said, it might be helpful just to know what zones can be used for different things. We do have some new people on the board. It might help. I don't know. Because I don't look up their, you know, I don't look up their.
I can certainly spell that out.
Yeah, I asked you about that because I was just concerned. I just wondered what district it was, just out of my curiosity, because that's what I did. So when I see that, yeah, I
believe it was residential, and home occupations are allowed in residential.
Okay.
I can certainly
Yeah,
explain that out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's okay. But yeah, you answered my question because I asked you that. Thank you.
Okay, if nobody has anything else, our next meeting is January 19th.
Wow.
I would just like to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday and Merry Christmas.
Well, it's time for the Christmas party now, right?
Christmas party now.
Yeah.
I brought the beer, so.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Motion to adjourn.
We'll stay
I second.
posted, but with the rise in cases,
Yeah,
I'm assuming that we'll just stay virtual for
Yeah.
now.
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
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 Seems
think
to be
it's-
working pretty good.
Yeah. Until
Hopefully by
until
spring
there's
it'll be over, but we'll see.
let's hope so. In the meantime, have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah.
Good New
Merry
Year,
Christmas.
everyone.
Happy holidays
You
all.
too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody.
See you in
Bye-bye.
January.
Merry
Thanks,
Christmas,
all.
everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.